Good afternoon, y'all. I'm Marlene Bush, and this is Stitching by the Lake. Um, I, I've been checking on my sound for the last, I don't know, 10 minutes, and I don't know what's wrong. It's not as loud as normal. I have a new mic, and I've got all the sound things up on my computer, so I apologize if it's not loud enough. I'm going to try to talk a little bit louder. Um, anyway, we'll see how it goes. Hope everybody's well. Today is Sunday, the 23rd of May. I can't believe May is almost over. Um, and it's about almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I went to early church and Sunday school today, which was nice. We've been back in church for a couple of months with masks, but we are now out of masks and we're back in Sunday school, which we had postponed for a little bit. It was really nice to get together with friends and be able to sit without a mask on and see people's expressions and visit and learn together. That was really great. I've missed it. I missed it a lot. What's been going on? It's been over a month since I made a video, and I try to do them about once a month, but time just gets away from me anymore. I went to Missouri to my sister's, to Sherry's, and stayed a little less than a week, I guess. We did some redecorating at her house, and it was fun, and it was a good visit with her, and everything turned out so pretty and fresh and springy, and so it was a good feeling. Went up to my son's a couple of different times, once to see one of the grandchildren perform, and then once, he's a football coach, and this is spring football season, so we went up for their inter-squad game / practice, and then he and Jerry left and went on a little fishing trip the next day. So I've been out. I've been out a good bit, as a matter of fact. A lot more the normal than what it has been in the past, and that's been nice. I've been gardening just a little bit. Not much, because, y'all, it has rained and rained and rained and rained. My yard, because we live on the lake, we have a big, huge backyard, but it slopes a little bit towards the lake, and water drains off of it very quickly. In fact, we get dry quicker than we want to. But it also means that when it rains like that, the ground gets completely saturated in water, stands out there for a while. That hasn't been great for my tomatoes that I planted. I didn't plant very much in the garden this year. I planted a few tomatoes and maybe 3 or 4 cucumbers and 3 or 4 zucchini and maybe half a dozen sweet potatoes. I have garlic, though, that's almost ready to harvest. I planted it last October. I planted 39, and all 39 came up. I don't know what in the world I'm going to do with all that garlic. I've never grown garlic like that. I've only just grown 3 or 4 just to see, what it would do. So I know there's some tricks to drying that and keeping it stored. I'll have to look those up to see what to do with it. I have a few little herbs that are up. My pineapple sage is really pretty, and I have some cilantro and basil, and what else? Planted some green onions, a few. Planted some spinach, but it didn't do anything at all. It was just too wet. And I have those things in some window box type containers on my deck. And unfortunately, a couple of them were right beside where our hummingbird feeder usually hangs. The raccoons have found the hummingbird feeder, though, and they keep climbing up there and into my plants and taking down the hummingbird feeder and drinking it, and then just throwing it down. So we've had to move those containers, and in fact, we've taken the hummingbird feeder in. There are plenty of flowers right now for the birds. I don't know what we'll do when we're ready to put that back out. I guess we'll have to bring it in every night, or the raccoons are just not going to leave it alone. It's crazy. Last video, I had a big giveaway, and I think I probably had a half a dozen things maybe that I gave away, and I can't find my notes. I'll have to go back and look at my video. But there is one that has not been claimed yet. So if you have not watched the last video and you ask for the green manger scene and embroidered scene, you might want to go back and look and see if your name is the one that was chosen for that. And if so, email me, and I'll put my email address below. And I do have a giveaway for today as well. I was going through my stuff, my stash, and ran across this kit. It is from Design Works. It's kind of hard to see. I've got a light on up there I may have to turn off. It's really a pretty piece. I've seen it stitched, and it was really, really pretty. And I thought I would do it, but no, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to get to that one. So, if you are interested in this kit, I have opened it, but it has not been used. The threads are here, and the fabric is here, and I think it's 14 count Aida. Yes, 14 count Aida. If you're interested in that, when you comment, say something about a bath, because this is called Bathing Beauties. There's a whole series with these two characters in it, and they're really some pretty things stitched up. So, what else is going on? It's May, it's Mania. No, I didn't do Mania this year. I've done it in the past. I still haven't finished all of my whips from some past Manias, although I've worked on some this month. I did have 3 or 4 new starts just because I wanted a new start, and I'm going to show you those. But otherwise, I didn't do Mania as a lot of people are doing it. I've done a lot though in the last month. I have some finishes, a couple of finishes I think. I have maybe 3 FFOs, I have some starts, and I have some whips to show you. So, let's get started. The first FFO is from Pineberry Lane, and it is Martha Brown's marking sampler. This is what it looks like. I'm going to turn that off and see what happens. There. Can you see that? Oh gosh, I'm sorry, the glare is just awful. Martha Brown's marking sampler. And, let me see if I can tell you what fabric I did that on. Wrong book. Because right at this moment I don't remember. I don't know. I think I may have shown that to you last time. And if you want to know what the fabric is, you can just let me know. And I decided, oh wait, I do have it too. It's written on the back of this. This is how I decided to finish it. This board, I think it came from April. And I'll put her website in the description box. I use 28 count raw natural linen. I finished this one back in December. It does have a little rope to hang with. I love this one. I love the colors that are in it. I use the Call For threads, which are from Gentle Arts. Chamomile, Old Hickory, Uniform Blue, and Roasted Marshmallow. And it is a reproduction sampler. The second FFO is one that I finished maybe in 2019. It's called Fresh Cut Christmas Trees. It's from Country Cottage Needleworks. There we go. I struggled with this one. In fact, I had it FFO'd and took it apart. I first thought I wanted to do it sort of like well, I don't know how to describe it. I had a mason jar. I'm going to turn this light back on just a little. There. Um, and I wanted to kind of wrap it around that, but I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't get the top, the lid part of the jar. Couldn't get that to. I couldn't figure out what I want to do with that. So I found a wooden block, and this actually was. It had a picture on this side, and it was on a clearance at Hobby Lobby, I believe. And so I took a piece of foam core and wrapped this piece around that foam core and laced it. And then I glued rickrack to the outside edge. And then I glued the whole piece to this board. And I'm very pleased with it, very pleased. Y'all, right outside, I'm facing the patio door, and on either side of the patio door there are windows. And on my left, right beside the window, there's a rock fireplace chimney. And there's a wren that has gotten up in between a couple of those rocks and is building a nest. And she is busily flying. She goes and gets something and brings it back. I don't know why she's building a nest now. You'd think she would have had one earlier, and maybe this is the second one. I don't know. But it's fascinating. She's just flying back and forth here. And the third FFO, whoops, things are falling in my basket here, y'all. Let's see if I can do this a little different so it won't typo or fall over for me. This one is from Heartstring Sampler. It's called Amazing Grace. I love this. It's one of my very favorite hymns. It's one that I happen to know the words to, and so when I'm rocking babies, that's usually one that I will sing to them when I get sick and tired of Jesus Loves Me and, those typical songs you sing to them in the cradle. Then this will be one that I'll sing. And it is done on, I don't remember what this, I think it's Oaken. Picture This Plus. Not positive. I can look it up if you need to. I found this little cedar box, and it belonged to Jerry's mother, was made in Arkansas, and I had put it back somewhere, and I decided this would be a good one to stitch. I feel sure one of my girls is going to want this. Anyway, it turned out really pretty, I think. I need to put a tag on the back of it. I've been doing that, telling me what the pattern is and the fabric is, but I failed to do it on that one, so I need to take care of that. And then I had a start and a finish. This one is a download from Not Forgotten Farm, and it's called A Happy Life. It's not a good picture, but here's kind of what that looks like, if you can see that at all. And this fabric, I used the Call for threads. I just used a piece of fabric I found in my stash, and these are DMC threads, and after I stitched it, I coffee dyed it, and that wasn't quite what I wanted, so I found my antiquing spray, and I sprayed it, just a few little squirts. Geez, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get a good enough light for y'all to see. It was sunny this morning, and when I started setting this up, it was sunny. And then all of a sudden it got cloudy. Wouldn't you know it? I love this. I'm just going to make it into a little small pillow. I also had a finish I don't have any of the information on this one out with me, but I've shown it to you before. Wait a minute. I do have some information. This is the pattern. It's from Pineberry Lane, Mrs. McGuire Bee Charmer. And it is stitched on 28 count oaken. Can you see that? This looks like one Anna needs to stitch from Stitch Roadies. And I decided, I had a real hard time. I looked and looked for a framing, couldn't find one that I really liked. And I found this again at Hobby Lobby on clearance after Christmas. And it's this box. See, it looks like this. And so I cut a piece of, this one's like in the middle of getting finished, y'all. I found this piece of foam core, and I had a piece of foam core, and I cut it the size of this front. So I'm planning to mount this on here. The problem that I'm having is that I can't find a trim that I like to go right here. I think I'm going to have to, first of all, I'm going to have to paint the box because I don't think I want black right there. I don't know what color I'm going to paint it, but that's going to be my next step. And I think once I've done the paint, I'll be better able to find a trim. I thought about a little small piece of lace in this off-white right here. Not sure. What do y'all think? The lace almost seems like it's a little too frilly for that kind of a piece. All right, let's see. I have another whip, an old one that I worked on for a little bit. Pennsylvania Fractor. This one is from Plum Street. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time making myself work on this piece because it's really pretty. The color, look at the colors of the threads. They're a mess, but you know. I think they're really pretty colors. I think part of it is that I'm not crazy about the fabric I chose. I chose a beautiful hand-dyed Ada. I have not cut it, so it's huge, but let me move my magnet here. And this is as far as I've gotten. This is an 18 count Ada that I believe I ordered from, I'm looking for the color, don't see it. I think I ordered this from Kitten Stitcher, maybe. Look at those colors, isn't that gorgeous? Really pretty. And this is not all that big a piece. If I would just sit down and work on it, it'd be done pretty shortly, I think. 125 by 58, so it's not that big at all. What I'm working on right now is Happy Birthday America, and I feel sure you've seen this from Brenda Gervais. I did not have, this was a kit, in that the fabric came with it, not the floss, and the trim, and the stuff to finish it with. But in my stash, I did not have Grecian gold, which is called for the bird, the legs and the beak, and the basket. And I've stitched the legs and the beak, and I'm not crazy about that color, but I think what I did was pick the DMC equivalent. I think it'll be okay. I don't know. Not sure. I may end up having to take that out and wait until I can get that color thread because I may not be happy with anything else. Okay, a new start. This is called 5 samplers from a private collection, red samplers from JBW Designs. Really pretty. And the one I've chosen to do is called Abingdon 1878. And it's the oldest one in this collection, 190 by 158. It has, let me think, let me read here, 7 different borders within this piece. They stitched it on a 40 count. I did not. I did not start it on a 40 count. I'm stitching it with Victorian Motto sampler threads called America the Beautiful. It looks like this. It's a deep sort of a cherry red, I suppose. Hold on a second. I'm going to move y'all so I can tell you. I've got a book under this computer. It's a little bit lower than I wanted it. I want to be able to tell you what this fabric is. 28 count white chocolate is what this is. And it's stiff. And of course, it's because it's 28 count, the holes are pretty large. It's very easy to stitch. This is how wide it's going to be. And that's how far I've gotten. It's a beautiful red sampler, a beautiful red sampler. And the only reason I stopped working on it when I did was because I wanted to work on America the Beautiful. No, Happy Birthday, America. That's the one I wanted to work on. I'm not crazy about this fabric because of the stiffness. I don't really like stiff fabrics, but it's okay. It's not hard to work on. Another new start. Brenda and Laura, Brendan the serial starter, had a Blackbird design weekend, the first weekend in May, and we'll have another the first weekend in June, and I chose to start Coming to My Garden. I know y'all have seen this 100 times. It's not anything new. I'm stitching it on a 36 count. Picture this plus Velt, V-E-L-D-T, with the called for threads. And this is how far I am. I have done the outer border. That's it. And when I say that's it, that was not easy. I put some little stitches up here at the top so that I would know what was the top. And I am half a stitch off somewhere down in here. I decided I could fudge it. I wasn't going back and look for it. I wasn't going to even try. When I looked at the pattern, I could tell that I could move motifs if I needed to a little bit. And so that was going to be my choice. I want it to be fun. I don't want to dread it. And I would if I had to take that out. And then I started, this is my last new start. And it is the Little Deeds Sampler by the Scarlet House. And that's what it looks like. Y'all have seen this one too, I'm sure, several times. And actually, I'm doing a round robin with some friends. And the first one part of the round robin was what that was sent to me. She had chosen the Little Deeds sampler, so I got to work on hers and on mine. I have that one ready to go to be mailed back. And I'm doing this one on, this is a very tiny start. Very tiny start. I think I'm doing this on the called for fabric. Let's see what that is. Sorry. My organizational skills leave a lot to be desired. Um, 36 count light exemplar. It is not the called for. Oh no, this is the one that I'm doing on 45 count. I lost my mind. Temporary insanity. That's why I haven't gotten any farther than I have, because I'm still looking at it, y'all. Look at this. Now, it's a miracle that I did that much. An absolute miracle. But I can do it. And I enjoyed doing it. The problem is I can only do it when it's sun shining. I have lots of lights in this room. I have an overhead light up here, several of them. That this room used to be a deck, and it was enclosed before we moved in here. And so there's still 1, 2, 3, 4 lights that shine right down on this room. I have a lamp up here that has 4 bulbs in it. I have this magnifier light, this kind right here. Oh, maybe the light's better if I turn that off. That hooks onto my table, and then I have this light that's one of those long, skinny ones like Lori Hope uses. So I can do a combination of things, which I frequently do. Sometimes I just have the magnifier light on, particularly if I'm working on something small. I'll put it, I have a hook holder that I hook onto this table, and I'll put it down right over that. If I'm working on the big roll frame stand, then generally I'm doing something with this light right here. But to stitch that 45 count, I have to use both of those, and it has to be a good, bright, sunshiny day. Otherwise, I can't do it. So that's what I've been working on. I went back and looked, and in 2021, this year, I've had 17 new starts, but 12 of those are finished. Now, coming into this year, I brought in 18 whips, but I've only finished 3 of those. That leaves me with 20. I have 20 whips right now. That's not too bad a number. Now, to be perfectly truthful, I am still in the middle of 3 or 4 series, like a Christmas series that I'm doing 1 block at a time. Noah's Ark, 1 block at a time, 1 ornament at a time. And so when I complete an ornament or a block, I don't count that as a whip. If I'm working on it, it's a whip. So I have 3 or 4 of those put aside. So 20 whips. That's my story. That's not bad. I have a basket over here to the right that I'm not going to get out this time, but my stack of things I need to start right away is about this high, about that high. And that's okay. I'll get to them. I thought I would show you. Let me move this. I'm really in the mood to do some patriotic stuff. And obviously I'm working on that Brenda Gervais one. But I pulled out a bunch of patterns, patriotic patterns that I really want to stitch. I can't do. I mean, between now and the 4th of July, I can do 2 or 3 of these smalls if I put everything else aside. And I'm not going to put everything else aside. First of all, I'm going to work on coming to my garden the first weekend in June. And in addition to that, Colorado Cross Stitcher is starting cross stitch camp on June the 1st. And so I'm going to stitch something for camp. Now, very likely my June stitch for camp is going to be one of these. I have not picked one at all. Not for June, not for July, not for August. Because I'm trying to decide with these. So if you see something in here that you think really ought to be my June stitch, and I have to finish it during June. So we don't want it to be one of these great big ones, okay? But these are the things I'm interested in. So let me show you. This one is Abby Rose Designs. And I think I'm going to save this one till July because our July assignment is a designer we've not stitched before. And I have not stitched Abby Rose Designs. So this one will very likely be a start July 1st. And this is what it looks like. It's done on a 32 count summer khaki with Gentle Arts threads. Typical Gentle Arts threads. Schoolhouse red, Brethren blue, Time, Wood Trail, those. I can't tell if I turn that lamp off if it's better or worse. Oh well. Here's a small one from Heart and Hand, an old one. I've had this a long time. I don't see a date. Oh, yes, I do. If I can read it, it's really tiny. 2018? No, 2008 maybe. I don't know. It's tiny print. Anyway, it's called Land That I Love. Isn't that the cutest thing with those little tiny houses? I love that one. But I also love Souvenirs of the Heart, Star Spangled Spectacular from Brenda Gervais. That's a pretty one. And I've done 4 of the word plays, but I've not done July. That would be a good one. Can you see that? Yeah, bad glare. And she also has a really pretty one, basket full of summertime, that looks like this. I have a couple that are recent purchases. This is a Brenda Gervais. I'm going to take this out because it's hard. Red, White, and Bloom. Oh, don't you love that? Any of those. I'd like to stitch all of those this summer. This one is not a patriotic one, but it is a red. And I thought it would work in a bowl with some red, white, and blue things. This is Bristol Berries, Erica Michaels. Look how pretty. This one's a squirrel, and this one's part of this pattern. It's a little house. There's a free pattern on Samplers and Santa's blogspot. It's for a pair, and she calls this one Pair 9. She did a whole series of pairs, and this is just a print, something I printed on my printer, but it's a free pattern. So you can see this is a navy blue background. My color's not good, with a white star and then the red stripes. What else do I have here? I've got some more free ones. Oh yeah. Plum Street has Liberty Lodge. That's a pretty one too. And Stacy Nash has Summer at Hollyberry Farm. Obviously that one would not be done in a month, but that's one I'd like to start. And then I'm not going to show you all of these, but the last one I'll pick up is obviously Souvenirs of the Heart. And there are so many in this one that could be done. All of them are pretty. All of them. So that's a basket full of patriotic goodness right there. So that's my plans, is to do some patriotic stitching in June. and hopefully get 2 or 3 little smalls done. I don't. I'm not going to start one of these big ones in the patriotic things because I have this whole basket of. Remember, I told you was over here, and it's need to stitch next, and that tall, and there's several samplers in there that I want to start right away. So that's it. That's all I got. Gosh, I'm at 35 minutes. That's a little bit over where I usually try to be. So I'm going to stop here and say I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. I hope your next week is wonderful. And Memorial Day, if you are in the United States, is a holiday that's coming up. And I hope that you have a wonderful holiday. And for those of you not in the United States, I wish the same things for you as well. Take care of yourself, y'all. See you soon. Bye-bye.